What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Thursday, September 12th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a sports freelance reporter based out of Southwest Minnesota here, and I'm also a substitute teacher and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where we bring individuals on, talk about their why, and get to know them outside their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today that's had an abundance of experience in the journalism field. Her name is Beth Warden. She is based out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is just 90 minutes from here. She's been an investigative reporter for South Dakota TV for almost 6 years now. But prior to that, she was a news director and worked in various other places and stations as well. So we're going to talk to her about her why, get to know her a little bit. And from there on, we're going to be able to have some fun questions, interactive questions, and it should be a lot of fun. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, beautiful Beth Warden. Good morning there, dear. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. It's wonderful to see your face. I just wanted to say thank you for allocating your time to me and coming on my podcast, Work Hard,
Yeah.
Play Harder.
hmm
Let me ask you, how's your week been going so far?
It's been good. Um, this morning's been crazy. I just got here to work. So I'm a foster mom and I have three kids. So it was up at 6 this morning, getting the 7-year-old to the bus, taking the 17-year-old to a dentist appointment, dropping
Right.
off her to school, then my 4-year-old to daycare. And then I went back to a doctor's appointment for myself and found out I was there a week early. So that's been pretty typical. There's a lots of running around, and then the week here has been really, really good. Some very good stories that I hope make a good impact.
Well, the wonderful thing is you're on top of everything, even a week earlier. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the
better than
wonderful
being
thing.
late.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So kudos to you for doing that, no doubt, Beth. Let me reiterate to you why I wanted to bring you on here before I start peppering you with all these questions. Okay.
Okay.
So I know you're an investigative reporter out there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is not far from me because I'm in Marshall, Minnesota. So
Oh,
it's only about 90 minutes away. So I'm very familiar with that city. I
yeah.
know you've also been at other stations as well. You've been a news director as well. So you have a plethora of experience of being in this journalism field. So I love to hear people's stories about how they came into it. Everyone has a story to tell. Every story is definitely different. Some people fall into it. Some people really loved it ever since they were yay high. So
hmm
I'm looking forward to hearing your story. And it was a no-brainer for me to reach out to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm happy to share my story on how things got started for me. I remember being in elementary school and taking a tour of a local radio station. And I was on a school bus with one of my classmates, and I said, I want to get into radio. This is what I want to do. And I'm still in touch with this friend today. And he said, you can do this. You've got this. And so I would try to make connections with the DJs there. And I think they thought I was like one of these bizarre stalker fans or whatever, but I really wanted to get into radio. And
Right.
so I would volunteer at two of the college radio stations here in Sioux Falls when I was a teenager, like 13, 14. And then my first paid job in radio, I was 15 and I worked at Kello AM radio. I was hired on. They assigned me a news name just in case. That was my name. Like, how
Wow.
credible is that for the news, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
I had to harass that program director until he gave me a job. And so that's how I got my foot in the door and was involved in radio for a number of years. Just made the switch over to TV about 5 years ago, and I love it.
Well, the camera absolutely loves your face as well, Beth. No question about that. And by the way, doing a little bit of research that I've done before I get to the next question, you got some very interesting stories that you've had a chance to cover. I mean, one of the stories that I looked at because I looked at a few of your videos was the fish one with the dumping of the fish.
Mhm.
I thought that was interesting. First of all, I've never heard of a story like that because I've never even went fishing myself. Not regular
Mhm.
fishing, ice fishing, none of that. So to hear that story, that was absolutely crazy what they were doing like that. How did you get a hold of a story like that?
It was a landowner that discovered all these dead fish on a stream, a creek that was going through his property, and
Mhm.
started talking to other farmers, and they were sure they were, where the fish kill was originating from. And they had talked to this farmer about the fish kill. And then when word was starting to spread about a potential second dump, that's when he stepped in and wanted to get the story out there, and also contacted the Department of Ag and Natural Resources.
Understand that.
Yeah.
Totally understand that. So let me ask you this question because a lot of reporters obviously want to do this. There's some reporters that do. How special is it for you to be reporting in pretty much your hometown state? How special is that?
I love it. I can't imagine doing it someplace else just because of all the connections. Like, I grew up in this area. I actually lived in Canada for 13 years and then
Yeah.
moved back here in 2010,
Yep.
but maintained relationships all along the way. My 40th class reunion is coming up this weekend, which is just hard to believe. But all of those connections mean that there are people that you've developed relationships with that you can reach out to see if they want to do a story. So I know a while ago somebody said, does anybody here know of a young teenage diabetic that's just, starting this journey on trying to figure this out? It's like, I do, and just having those connections means the world to me. I can't imagine moving to a new market without all those relationships. It's got to be tough.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely something like it's very sweet to be able to do that. I mean, obviously, we know as reporting, you have to go to kind of small places. I graduated in Georgia,
Mhm.
and actually, I'm getting my master's online as we speak. But going from Georgia to Minnesota was quite the switch.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
question about it. But it's different out here, and it's really good to see different cultures. It's really good to go different places and be able to have different an impact in
Mhm.
that community as well. Because Marshall, Minnesota is very small.
Yeah, I've
As
been there for band competitions.
So you
So,
already know. Yes,
yep, yep.
indeed. Okay. Let me ask you about your college choice. I think you went to, if I'm not mistaken, Southeast Votech. I might be wrong about that, but was it
Yeah.
was it a vote? I think it was a Votech school. Were there any other schools that you possibly went to or was considering before you went there?
Yes, I was considering going to Brown Institute in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I
Yeah.
think that school still exists. So this was like mid 80s that I was considering it. And a
Okay.
friend of mine who was also graduating that year, that was also in radio here in Sioux Falls, we toured together and we started talking about things. And he just said to us, you guys are already doing what we teach you. And back then, it wasn't digital. So we're talking about splicing tapes and all of this.
Right.
And
Right.
he said, you're already doing this. So it, I guess it's kind of embarrassing, but I didn't go to college. I didn't go to university. I don't have that degree. Graduated from high school
Mhm.
and just went straight into radio. And it worked for me. I don't think it'll work for others. If I could go back, I would probably get a degree in like politics or something like that to better myself in a journalism degree, maybe a double major or something like that. I don't know that that would even be possible now. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's definitely possible. But look at where
Yeah.
you're at now. Without a degree, and you've done what you've done for your career, I mean, it's pretty impressive to be able to say because we know in this industry, when you start out, it does not pay you a lot.
No, no.
It does not. So for you to grind and do what you do, working in radio, working in TV, you say you just got in TV 5 years ago. For
Mhm.
you to do that, Beth, I commend you for sure. And it's really cool. Really cool to hear about.
Thanks. So Southeast Tech was actually a certificate in floral design because one of my
Okay.
side hustles was working at a flower shop for a few years here in Sioux Falls. So that's where Southeast Tech comes in.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I want to ask you some favorite questions, Beth, and you just
Okay,
give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Are you with me?
I am with you. How long do you want these answers to be?
They as long as you want them to be.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
were looking for like bullet point answers or what.
No. As long as you
Okay,
want them to be. Here
okay.
we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Thanksgiving dinner, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, celebration dinners. Everyday meals, I hate cooking. I do it because I have to sometimes.
I totally understand that. Life of a
Mm,
reporter. I'm sports. So as you know, sports is nights and weekends. We really don't want to be coming home super late at night trying to make meals. So I want to
mhm.
whip up something very quick. Tacos, chicken, really quick. Just stuff that's quick like that. So I totally get
Absolutely.
that. However, we're gonna have to stay in touch, Bev, because Thanksgiving is coming around the corner. So I just might want to be able, just in case, we're gonna have to stay in
Yeah.
touch.
Do you have
Absolutely.
do you have family in Marshall or anybody that you've
No,
connected with? Oh, well,
no,
we're gonna
no,
make it
no.
happen.
No. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Second question. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna say Fleetwood Mac.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
actually teared up a little bit because these were songs I had heard through my whole life, and it transitioned from a disconnect of them being on the radio
Right.
to seeing them in person. So I guess Fleetwood Mac.
So I just learned that Fleetwood Mac went through a lot of changes within their band when they first started out to the end of pretty much of their band. So a lot of
Yeah.
different members came in and out of Fleetwood Mac, but
Yeah.
they're a historic group. There's no question about
Yeah, I'm sure the relationship dynamics were insane, between
it.
getting together, breaking up, writing songs about the breakup. And
Right.
yeah, I can't
Absolutely. No,
imagine.
no doubt. I love that. Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Next question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
We've been to a lot of different places, and this may sound kind of funny, but there is a place it's less than a mile from my home, and it's on private property, and it's
Mm,
called Pretty Place. Now, you may see around the Marshall area, there's these jagged pink rocks. I know it's around Pipestone, Minnesota. It's called
I
Sioux
do.
Quartzsite, and it's very unique to this area. There is a waterfall there underneath the railroad tracks, and it's
Mhm.
got that jagged pink quartzite with the water coming down and a pond and then a little creek. Now, right now it's being used for cattle to graze. It's actually owned by a huge corporation, which makes me so sad, but they're
Wow.
leasing it out to farmers that are friends of mine. And I've even said to my daughter, if you decide to, have ashes dispersed somewhere, I want them at Pretty Place. So
Oh,
it's a very centering place to be, very calm. And the fact that it's not a park where lots of people are going to be there, you get it all to yourself. It's great.
I love that. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Now I'm a sports person. I don't know if you're a
Mhm.
huge one, but I gotta ask this question. Favorite
Okay.
sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? Can it be the same sport?
Okay, that'd be watching the Minnesota Twins. I am not a huge sports person. Sports would
Mm.
be my weakest link in journalism, and I get scared every time I have to read a sports story because I might mispronounce a name that's very obvious. And so I really need to be diligent on that. But just
Mm.
going to downtown Minneapolis to their new stadium there, and their previous stadium that they had, just going
The
to a
Metrodome.
Twins game. Yeah, the Metrodome. Remember, they couldn't you couldn't see the ball up in the air because of the ceiling color and texture would get lost. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I like watching the World Series, but I'm usually too busy, to watch anything else.
I totally understand that. And listen, I can learn some new stuff from you, and I can certainly teach you some sports stuff, Beth. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Totally with you. Now, last question of the favorite. Favorite restaurant that you like to eat at there in Sioux Falls?
Oh boy, I would say Minerva's is really nice. It's right downtown on Phillips Avenue.
Mm,
And I love the atmosphere. It's kind of like an Art Deco 1920s vibe to it. The lighting is so nice. It's spacious. It's not so loud, so you can have a nice conversation. The food is excellent. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. A lot of people here like Minerva's.
okay. Now,
Mhm.
when I went there last, I tried Slim Chicken. Have you ever heard of that? Slim Chicken.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't quite get the excitement about it, to be honest.
I did not, but when they had waffles and chicken, it reminded me of back home. Because back home, they had this place called Gladys Knight's. Now, obviously,
Oh,
you know who Gladys Knight
yeah,
is,
yeah.
but she had a restaurant down in Georgia, and it was
Mhm.
great. And Slim Chickens was great too. But I really want to try what you just said. The atmosphere. You said what was the other spot?
Minerva's is the name of it.
Minerva.
But if you
Okay.
want chicken and waffles, there's another place we need to go to, and that's the Phillips Avenue Diner right downtown on Phillips Avenue. And it is like an old diner looking facility, but their chicken and waffles, that's what they're known for. So
Okay.
good. Hmm.
No doubt. Now, when I pull up in town, I want you to go.
Okay,
Let's do it. Let's
deal.
do it. No
Yeah.
doubt. That is awesome. Now, you did great on the favorites. I want to talk to you, though, about your day to day.
Okay.
Okay. Reason why I want to talk to you about your day to day is that for a journalist, like I know, it's different every single day. With
Hmm.
sports, there's different games every day. Feature stories are different with different people. News is like that too.
Hmm.
News is every day, and we don't work traditional hours, right? The business hours of 8 to 5, 9 to 6, they go out the window.
Hmm.
And then sometimes when you go home and you think you're done for the day, you end up checking your phone and you might get some breaking news or something like that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your day to day process of how you go about finding stories, doing stories, and when you do get a chance to kind of clock out.
Okay. Like you said, every day is different. And because of the relationships and the previous stories, a lot of stories come to me. So I'm grateful for that. We've transitioned where I used to do what's called day turns in the industry, and I still do some day turns. But thanks to the management here, they have been so committed to me having the time to do more in-depth pieces that I don't have to turn a story every day. And that means the world to me because I'm able to jump in and do FOIA requests or, just sit down and read a long document that I need to reference to in a story, knowing that I don't have that ticking clock where I've got to turn this whole thing by the end of the day. So that is definitely good. But then there are breaking stories too, like you said, and perfect example. I'll be at home and I'll get a whole bunch of text messages. Oh, there's unrest at the prison. My day has changed. And being a foster mom too, I need to make sure that the kids are taken care of.
Right.
So one of my coworkers here, the producer for the 11 a.m., she said, I got you. I'll take your kids. So she did that one time. I did live reports at the penitentiary and she had my kids and I picked them up after. So I'm grateful for that.
That's a beautiful thing in this
Yeah.
business too. When you be able to kind of meet people, to
Yeah.
connect with people, and have those people trust to where you can, because you don't
Hmm.
get as you move around a lot. It's hard to kind of develop those relationships, especially in journalism, because you're not at spots for a long time. You're moving up
Right.
market, right? So that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. I love to hear that.
Mhm.
Talk to me about mental health and work life balance. It's a question that I love asking journalists because once again, every situation is different.
Mhm.
There's been some horrific situations that I've heard of with some
Yeah.
of these companies. It doesn't sound like it's there with you, but
Yeah.
talk to me about your work life balance, being a mom, being somebody who has to dedicate to the work, dedicate to the kids, but also your mental health because you're human too. Everybody has
Right.
those days, Beth. So tell
Yeah.
me, how do you deal with that?
I have a life coach that I meet with about once a month, and I can meet with her more if I'm going through a stressful time or just give her a call.
Sure.
So we used to meet in a lovely coffee shop, but now that I have these kids, we meet at McDonald's Playland. So the kids play, I meet with her, we have coffee, and we go through setting goals or processing something that happened. So
Absolutely.
she's been an amazing person that I can rely on for a number of years now to help me through personal things and just processing things at work. Also, the company that I work for, Gray Corporation, they have like short videos that you can watch, and
Mhm.
they just put up some mental health videos. And one of them, I swear they knew my life. It was just amazing because they were talking about being a reporter. You walk into work and you're like this. All of a sudden, you've got a story, you've got deadlines, and you're like way up here, like your
Right.
adrenaline's high, hyper vigilant, your heart's beating fast, you're trying to make your deadline, you're trying not to make any mistakes. And then you get home from work. Well, you're still, sorry, trying to get my hand in the camera here.
No, you're
You're
good.
still up here. And
Mhm.
what you do after that, what I learned from that video is so key. And this was my problem for a long time, and I'm still working on it. I get home, I'm exhausted. The only
Yeah.
thing I want to do is check out and watch TikTok videos and feed the kids chicken nuggets so they're not hungry and then go to bed. So but that's not a good life. So this video that I watched explained that you've got to find something to bring you back to your baseline, because if
Sure.
you don't do something proactively, it can take up to 18 hours to get back to your baseline. Well, that would mean if you're working the next day, you're returning back to work at that elevated level, and then you've got to do it all over again. And, maybe that's why we burn out. I don't know. So I'm working on that. Like, what do I enjoy doing? Okay. Or what's going to make me feel better. Sometimes it's just taking all the garbage out. Okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to clean the kitchen because I'll feel better. And that's going to get me back to the baseline. Or maybe it's going to be watering my plants and sitting on my front porch. It can really vary, but I learned a lot from that video and from my life coach.
Absolutely. I think one of the key words you said there was life coach. A lot of people sometimes are ashamed, Beth, to really talk about like therapy or coaching. And in this profession, sometimes you do need that because you do have loved ones in your life, but the loved ones can't really relate to what you're doing because they're not doing what you're doing. Yeah. There's an A side and a B side to this. The A side is what we do every day. We get up, we get to story tell, we get to meet some really amazing people. We get to do some really amazing stories, stories that you never thought you would have done in your lifetime. I know I've covered section championships and state championships. I never, and I did this for, this is year 5 for me as far as being a journalist. And I started kind of late because I'm in my 30s now, but this is year 5 for me. And back in Atlanta, when I started, I was just doing games. And then I came here to Minnesota. I was doing it every day. So I say that because people do experience burnout. People do experience like mental health breakdowns. And it's really good that you kind of have almost like boundaries for yourself, is what it seems.
I think too, having the kids is really good because I think I'd totally be a workaholic. That's what I did in the past when my kids were older and they didn't need me as much. My 2 older that are now out on their own that I gave birth to.
Sure.
Yeah, I was definitely tending towards being a workaholic. And I think I'd be that today if it wasn't for that pull. Like, I've got to get the kids from daycare and I've got to get home and take care of them. So that helps with balance too.
Let me ask you, is there anyone, or maybe, I don't know if you do speaking engagements at colleges or universities as far as journalism and communication goes, but what if there was someone, like an intern maybe that came to South Dakota TV that asked you, hey, Beth, I would love to do what you do. What kind of advice would you give that individual?
I think being curious is so important because you can learn what you're curious about. Sometimes having a lot of knowledge about something first, but not having that curiosity, I would think that would not be as beneficial. So someone that I knew in journalism, he was a former mayor of our city. One of the things he said is, I like the fact that you are so curious about things. You want to learn, you want to ask questions. So I think that, hopefully by nature, if you're in journalism, being curious and wanting to ask those questions is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. I ask that question a lot to a lot of different people on my platform. And the reason why I do that is because a lot of people are curious, but sometimes they just kind of afraid. They don't know how to approach. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to go about it, right, in the right way. I also love asking this question as well, and that is, when you do hard or soft stories, soft stories are great stories to do. We know that. But hard stories are very difficult. And being an investigative reporter, I'm sure you do a ton of those. When you first started out as opposed to now, Beth, was it hard for you to take these hard stories out your mind when you went home?
Yeah, it was hard. And I think that's where the life coach comes in. That definitely is beneficial. There is a toll-free number we can call to set up for if we want to have an appointment with therapists. I think we get like 5 a year or something. So I could utilize that if I needed to. But I think here in the newsroom, we kind of support each other too. Like being curious, I want to open up an affidavit on a crime story that I'm not even covering because I'm curious. But then I've just read about something horrific. And I know one of my coworkers here that I say is like my brother. He's like, you don't have to read all of those. So that's good advice. And he's been doing this for decades in TV. So I think that's really good advice.
Awesome. I love that. Now
Mhm.
we have came to the portion, Beth, of this or that. Okay, so
Okay.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw two things at you and you get to choose this or
Okay.
that.
All
All
right.
right, here we go.
Okay.
First one is KFC or Popeyes.
KFC.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Do you like chicken wings?
Yes.
Okay, flavor.
Nope.
Which flavor are you choosing?
I'm
Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Oh, I guess I'd do barbecue. Yeah, I'd
Okay,
do barbecue. Hmm.
okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
And do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
I know we gonna be very good, girl. We're gonna be very good. I like that. I like it. Not
There's
many people pick boneless.
really there's a Wild Buffalo Wings. There's two in town. So
Mm-hmm.
far we're
Yeah,
getting our restaurant itinerary planned, aren't we?
absolutely. This is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Next question is, if you had to, okay, if you had to choose, I know you're not huge into it, but which sport would you rather play? Would you rather play bowling or badminton?
Um, I think I'd do the bowling.
Are you are
Hopefully
you
with
are you good?
bumpers.
Are you good? Oh, did you just say with bumpers? Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
have
we just
patience for bowling. Like get together with friends. We're gonna go bowling. All right. So, I try for one game. Let's see if I can break 100. I'm really gonna focus, and after that, it's like I don't care. I'd rather just sit and watch them bowl.
I love it. And listen, we need people like you like that there. Just good conversation, have a cold one and just
Hmm.
relax. I totally
Yep.
understand. That's probably the one thing we probably can't do together, Beth, because I can't do no bumpers. I can't do the bumpers. But that's no but that is okay. That's all right.
One
That's
of
all
the
right.
one of the benefits of having kids is you can get by with having bumpers.
That's
But if
true.
you want to
That's
go to
very
a
true.
batting cage, you and I could go to a batting cage, and I would love that.
Oh, that's totally awesome. I love that
Yeah.
too. I love
Hmm.
batting cages as well.
Hmm.
These next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay, so here
Okay.
we go.
Yeah.
Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Carrie Underwood or would you rather go see Luke Combs?
Probably Carrie Underwood.
Okay, I
Yeah.
like that. I like
Hmm.
that. Which concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see George Strait or Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, for
okay.
sure. I mean, he's a showman.
I like it. I like it. And listen, I love some Garth Brooks. I'm not huge in the country, but there's a few artists that I do love a lot for
I
sure.
was noticing the first two questions here are both countries, so I'm
Absolutely.
curious where you're going to go with this.
Absolutely. So this
Mm.
next question is going to change the genre a little bit.
Okay.
Which artist would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Whitney Houston or Janet Jackson?
Ooh, Janet Jackson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Hmm.
I like it. I like it. Okay. So now, which artist would you rather see in person? Would you rather go see LL Cool J or Run DMC?
Probably Run DMC.
Okay. Okay. All right. We rocking, girl. We rocking. I
Yeah,
like that.
kind
I
of the
like it.
retro vintage, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I love my retro. I love my new school too. Now, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, but
Oh
it
yeah,
ain't quite
yeah,
like the retro. That's for
yeah.
sure. Okay, okay. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw.
Unfortunately.
I know you and me both, Beth. You and me
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw out four categories of desserts. Okay,
Mhm.
and you have to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. First one is cookie. The next one is ice cream. The next one is cake. The last one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again? Which
Candy.
sweet?
Candy for sure.
Yep,
Yeah. How about you?
yep. It would be me. It's the same because
Yeah.
I can't go out without my chocolate chip cookies or my Oreos, and I can't go without my red velvet cake.
Hmm.
That's my favorite, red velvet, and my cookies and cream ice cream. If you're starting to see a trend here with the cookies and the cookies and cream, yeah. So I can't go out. That's for sure. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
like potato chips?
Yeah, they're okay.
Okay, so same format. I'm going to throw out four brands. You got to get rid of one of these brands, okay?
Okay. Hmm.
All right, so here we go. First brand is Doritos. The second brand is Ruffles. The third brand is Lay's. The last brand is Pringles.
Oh,
Which
Pringles gotta go. It barely got out of your mouth, didn't it?
yeah, you
I'm
was very
sorry.
sure of that one. That was cool.
I was actually hoping you would say Pringles. Not like I despise it, but the fact that it's all prefabbed, and in that tube, yeah,
Hmm.
it just
Okay, so
doesn't seem
let,
real.
let me ask you this: Are you
Okay,
a salt and vinegar chip person?
no. Even, I mean, that's so popular in Canada. They do salt and vinegar on lots of stuff. You'd never imagine. Nope, not for me.
Okay. Wow, Beth, you're starting to become more and more perfect. This is the but the reason why I asked that question is because every person that's picked Pringles is a salt and vinegar person. They can't give those.
Oh,
They can't give them up. Which for me is the second worst chip ever. I think the first is Funyuns. That's the worst chip ever
oh,
made.
see, I
Funyuns.
like Funyuns. Yeah,
Okay.
they're
Well,
they're
listen.
fun.
Well, listen. We couldn't be perfect on everything, Beth. It's okay. It's okay. That's so true. And listen, that means more Funyuns for you. So that's totally true. I like that. Okay, you
It's
did
a
pretty well.
winner.
You did pretty well on this or that. You did pretty good.
Okay.
Now, this next question I have for you is about which career choice would you have chosen if journalism wasn't something that you would have pursued? So, which career path you would have chosen if journalism wasn't something that you could choose, and why?
I guess not worrying about the tuition and all of that, maybe an attorney, because I like the idea of trying to defend somebody. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's really, really important. If there's an injustice, and that's what I love about doing investigative journalism. If there's an injustice, hopefully I can try to tell that story. So it'd be the same with being an attorney.
I can totally see that, by the way. I really could. I could totally see that. I would say probably theater for me. I'm
Oh,
I'm a huge like musical buff, so I love musicals. So I would definitely pursue something like that. That's for sure. No
okay.
question about
So you've got to tell me at least one play you were in. Were you ever
it.
in
Sure.
Oklahoma? Were you ever in the play Oklahoma?
No, I was in Les Miserables.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I did Les Miserables. I also did High School Musical as well.
Hmm.
But my favorite play of all time to watch is Hairspray. So
Oh,
that's my
yeah.
favorite. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Hmm.
No question. So yeah, I'm a huge Hairspray. Obviously Hamilton, Annie,
Hmm.
Mamma Mia. I can go on and on. I'll probably bore you to death with all the stuff, but I just love talented voices blending together like that, making a great production. So, and to be honest with you, I fell into the Les Miserables role because I was like the French Revolution. What the hell is that? I don't want to do that. I'm
You can
good.
barely
But
get to A Tale of Two Cities in school, right?
right. So it's like I don't know about all that. I'm used to like R&B and hip hop, and different things like
Hmm.
that. But they convinced me when they said, well, it's going to be a production, and at that time, which was many moons ago in high school, there was a lot of ladies that joined the production. So I was like, okay,
Oh, so
that'd
you
be
were
pretty
one of
cool.
the guys that was in theater because you wanted to chase the ladies in theater.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was. I was.
I've heard
I
of
was.
that.
I can't lie on that one, Beth. I was in high school and I was like, I don't know nothing about Les Miserables, but I could certainly count how many ladies is in this production. I was like, let me go ahead and join it. And show off my singing skills because I had the solo too, drink with me. So I was like, cool, I can show up a little bit so I can see what that is. So it was
Did you
cool. Okay.
did did you get a girl out of the deal?
At that particular time, I got more girls as friends, and then eventually one of those girls as friends turned into something. So yes.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
I was Aunt Eller in Oklahoma and
Oh,
in high school. That was so much fun. So plays throughout high school. Then nothing until 3 years ago. I was in a Christmas play after all these years. It's like, can I still
wow.
learn lines? Like I haven't done this since I was a teenager.
Right.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Community
That
theater.
that is awesome, and I bet you were amazing in that. No question. What was your character in the Christmas play?
I don't remember the name of my character, but it was a murder mystery called The Games Afoot. And so I was actually like this crazy mother that ended up being the killer that was the least suspected. And it came out at the end of the play. So
That is
that was a ton of
definitely
fun. Yeah.
I can see you definitely like really like
You being a
perfecting that
crazy
role.
killer.
Perfecting that role because you look very sweet, beautiful, nice, but then that's when you be like, oh man, sweet, beautiful, and nice. Those are the ones that can get you. So
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. I can totally understand that. Okay, I like that. I like that. We talked about advice that you would
Hmm.
give someone, and that's pretty much be curious, right? Ask
Hmm.
questions, do that.
Hmm.
What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
There's never a stupid question. Even if
Mm,
you think it's a stupid question, there's not a stupid question. So there's that advice. Gosh, I could probably think of a huge list for you about an hour from now, but trying to think of something just off the top of my head. Um, just I guess kind of the token ones like believing in yourself and those kinds of things. So I feel like I need to have a better answer for you. I'm not coming up with one.
No, no, no. The stupid question one is really because people really don't ask a lot of questions because they feel they are stupid, right? But
Hmm.
that that asking questions is the only way you're going to get answers provided for you. So that's the only way. That's how I learned. Definitely, I was like, yo, I am not going to not ask questions anymore. I'm going to ask whatever it is. If they want to answer it, cool. If they don't, cool.
Hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I like that. I do. Give me your top three as far as events or stories you would like to cover that you haven't yet. Like, what is on a bucket list for you?
Oh, oh, oh man. My passion is doing Native American stories because I think there are so many stories to tell.
Hmm.
So anything related to that, I would love to cover more of. Other stories to tell. Um, I would like to get into more data-driven stories, especially things that come from FOIA applications. In
Okay.
South Dakota, the amount of information you get is insanely small and very well controlled on a state level. So to get details, sometimes you need to go to federal reports, and that's
Right.
what you're finding for what happens in the state. So I would love to do more of that. I think there are so many stories to tell about that.
Okay. I
And you
like that.
said
Now,
three, right?
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me one more.
Oh boy, three, and again, I'll probably think of a whole bunch of stuff after we're done talking, but
Sure.
stories of overcoming. I think they can be so empowering for any of us. You've heard the catchphrase, everybody's got a story to tell. And that really is true. Like just sitting down and talking to somebody and finding out the struggles that they've had, how they overcame them, how we can overcome those too. That's empowering for everyone. So those kinds of stories would be great.
I love that. Now, this just came up in my mind as a bonus question. Have you ever
Okay.
done a story on a foster mom or maybe a foster care type of situation, like the situation you're in? Have you ever done a story like that?
Yeah, I have. I've done several stories on foster care, and it was regarding the state and the need for foster parents. The thing that was frustrating to me in that story is being on the side of being a foster mom. The
Right.
information I was receiving on the ground was totally different than the rhetoric coming from the state.
Wow.
And so I remember doing this interview and just feeling the tension and the frustration, getting the token answer, but knowing from my own experience and what I am hearing from other foster parents and those who work with foster families, that was not the case. And it was about a lag of time to actually train foster families, like huge need, right? But then
Yeah.
there was a lag, and it was post-COVID too. So I want to give some grace there that it was hard for people to accomplish many things at that time.
Oh my goodness. The trying
Yeah.
to report during COVID was something else. There's no
Oh,
question about it. There's no question about that.
talk about
Uh,
mental health.
right,
That
right.
was
I was in
horrible.
Georgia at that time, doing my reporting, and I'm wearing the mask, being so far away. And when you
Yeah.
do sports and even news stories, I know for sports for me, we couldn't even go to the practices. We couldn't go to the
Right.
practices. All we could do was go to the games, and they had to sit in like little certain areas where they had the X marked off. It was just horrible at that time. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what doing news stories, but I'm sure you couldn't really go into the office and do much. with anyone
No,
around, right?
there were like 2 anchors in the office. We were all
Hmm.
working from home. I had a studio at home, so I was one of the lucky ones. I had everything set up to do narration of my stories.
Hmm.
I went home with a little laptop. The screen for me to see what I was editing was like about this big.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had all sorts of stuff that shouldn't have been there, but I literally couldn't see what I was doing. And
Right.
then I remember putting up on Facebook, does anybody have computer monitors? And a guy that owns a bar in my little town said, well, the bar's closed and come get some monitors. So I hooked it up so at least I could see better with what I was doing. But
Okay.
I COVID was horrible for everyone.
Yeah.
And so, and much worse for others. But for me professionally, it was hard on my mental health and working from home. I had a teenage daughter at the time, 2 dogs that wanted to go in and out all the time because people were home, trying to figure out how to edit. The laptop didn't work the same as the computers at the station, and trying to figure out why did my software just freeze and shut down? Didn't
Right.
do that back then. And then learning by trial and error and still meeting a deadline. The silver lining in all of that is I started out as a medical minute reporter, and understandably, it didn't seem right to do stories on hip replacement surgery during the middle of a pandemic. So
Sure.
then we put that on hold, and then I started doing more stories. And some of the things that really got me going for investigative reporting were because of COVID. Are there enough
Right.
testing supplies? We're hearing that there are, but I know this guy that's being contacted to print them on his 3D printer. So let's do a story about that, and so that's the silver lining in it all. And it helped me realize that, um, again, the no stupid question thing. I started thinking, am I too old to do this? Are these younger journalists catching on to all this? Because I downloaded a software program to import video, and it just wasn't working. And I remember my news director said, I'll have so and so give you a call. And they reached out to me. Oh, it's super easy. And I thought, this is me, right? No, it turned out to be the equipment. But just getting over that self-doubt, like, no, it's not me. No, I'm not too old. I'm smart enough, I can learn this. But
Hmm.
just because there's a glitch doesn't mean it's on me. It can be a software, hardware problem, whatever. So those are the good things that came out of it.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm definitely here to tell you are not too old. That's for sure. You're doing a heck of a job doing what you're doing right now. Trust me. And the stories that you're coming up with is amazing. I know they're coming
Oh,
into you, but those are some really interesting stories that you're doing. And that's just based upon me going on YouTube, because I saw on YouTube where I was trying to do a little bit of research. You had over 200 plus videos of segment of stories. So I was like, oh man, let me see the majority of these, and I watched a good bit of them. So you do just such an amazing job. No question.
thank you.
No
That
question.
that is so reassuring. Yeah, I just aired part of an interview with a pastor and it's got 3.5 million views on TikTok.
Wow.
And that was unbelievable.
You
So,
know, fun fact before I ask you this next question.
okay.
I do not have a TikTok yet. People are telling me I should get one. I should get one. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I'm still on the Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
and LinkedIn. That's what I mainly do. But people are telling me to get TikTok. So I'm like, I might convert. Some of these kids that I, cover as far as high schools and college, it's like, okay, they're so vibrant with all these different ideas, and I'm the OG is what they call me, and I'm like, oh Lord, I'm the OG, man. I don't even feel that old, but to them, man, for sure, and I totally understand that. So I may get into the TikTok space a little bit. This is a question I want to ask you, because you said you did radio and you said you've done on TV as well. Which
Hmm.
one do you rather do? Like, if they said to you, Beth, you can only do one full time, would you go back to doing radio, or would you stay on the TV?
Radio is not what it used to be.
Mm,
TV for sure. Absolutely
okay.
TV. Hmm.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Now, we're coming to the home stretch here. So
Okay.
this last question here now is pretty much going to be rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to answer it, and that's it. Okay. So here we go.
Okay.
All right. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos,
Pancakes or waffles?
pancakes,
Soda or juice?
Soda.
Mm. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or Canada?
Sioux Falls, without a doubt.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Would you rather cover a court story, or would you rather cover uh something scientific?
Court, without a
Okay.
doubt. You put me in that courtroom, I will come back with pages of notes. Love
Got
it.
you. Got you. Okay. There's a couple restaurants I'm gonna throw out there. Texas
Okay.
Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
I know them cinnamon rolls is something else. Them cinnamon and butter cinnamon things, they something else.
Are
I
you
know that.
hungry at all? Like, we're talking about food a lot.
I know. I stay hungry. I stay hungry, Beth. That's for sure. No doubt. Okay. Favorite
Okay.
color.
Purple.
Okay. Favorite alcoholic drink.
Moscato.
Oh,
Nice
okay.
wine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. I like that. Favorite ice cream.
Ooh, something with chocolate.
Mm.
Any kind of
Okay.
chocolate.
Favorite card game.
Cards Against Humanity.
That's quite the game right there. Yeah. That could be quite the game, depending on who you're playing with. That could be quite the game. No
With
question.
very close friends.
Absolutely. Oh my.
The first time we played that at my house, I said, I think I got to smudge my house after this.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
I know it. I know what you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Favorite music genre.
Oh boy. Oh gosh. It really depends on the day. I love the song Million Dollar Baby right now. I don't even know who that's by. Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know who that is.
You
Yes,
know who that is?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm not like a huge fan of hers, but I hear her music all the time on the radio. So I
Yeah.
definitely know who she is. Okay. Are you a night owl or are you a day person?
Night owl if I could be. That's what I gravitate to. My alarm
Okay.
sometimes is going off at 5:45, and I think this is insane. I
It
have to
is insane.
I've got one of those old school clock radios in my
Mhm.
bathroom
Mhm.
because I'll just hit snooze on my phone and not even know what I'm doing. But the old school clock radio will wake me up in the bathroom across the hall.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this: favorite romantic or rom-com movie of yours?
Favorite romantic movie? Probably like Sleepless in Seattle.
Wow, you took it back to Meg Ryan.
Yeah,
Meg
yeah,
Ryan movie.
yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
mean,
That was pretty good.
those two work well together because they did
Yeah,
another one and you got mail. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. I like that. Last one of the rapid fire. Okay.
Okay.
Now, rapid fire this one. This one is really important, Beth. It's really important. Okay.
Okay.
It's about your favorite subject, which is food. Okay. What kind of steak is your favorite steak out of these? Ribeye, sirloin, porterhouse.
Ribeye. Hmm.
Okay. Now, are you a well done person or medium rare?
Medium to medium well. I don't like pink or just a
I got
little bit of pink. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that way. I used to be a well done person, but then I had to lather it in steak sauce. So now I didn't want to do that no more. So I got me a little bit of pink, and the juice is there. So I love me
Hmm.
a nice ribeye. No, porterhouse is too big for me. I can't eat a porterhouse steak.
Oh
That's just
no,
too much.
no. It's
That's a
fun to
little bit
watch
too much.
other people get it.
You ain't lying about that. That is for sure. My
Yeah.
last question to you, Beth, before I let you go, as always, is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, your job, or anything before we conclude? I should say.
I would say the most important thing about having a job is doing something where you feel you're making a difference. I can, hats off to the people that go and do data entry or all of those things. And
Mhm.
hopefully those are finding a way to make a difference. But I think it's just so important to have that gratification in life where you feel like you're impacting lives no matter what career you're choosing. And now I can confess to you, after we had all this conversation about food, I'm 1 week on Monjaro. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like Ozempic. It's
I,
a weight loss drug. So
I do. I do.
I just thought this is so ironic because it's like I'm counting on my protein and all this, and we're
Wow,
talking
Bev.
about
Uh,
chicken
uh,
and waffles.
right, right. And you dropped the hammer on me now. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate you coming on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. You are such a delight to talk to. Please stay in touch and have a
Yeah.
wonderful Thursday rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.